What's up, everyone? My name is Dave from the Lift Journal, and I am super excited to talk to you guys about the Operator 850 and 1050 by Omen Foils. So, first off, I want to say thank you to Omen Foils for bringing me on as a team rider. Beyond excited to not only help them with new product as far as testing, insight, but also in general be part of the Omen family. I've been speaking to Greg about the boards, and I just had to give the foils a try, and ever since I feel a difference in my foiling. We'll get into that. Let's first start with just the general idea of how this package came to me. Got the 1050 and the 850, and just the way that they actually do all of their packaging from shipping, but also the ideas of how to maintain a good looking foil when it's not in the water, meaning these little foil packs. I don't know, but just very easy to get on, off. We're gonna go to the mast, which I want to say also the mast idea, the packaging, just little things like putting a zipper here for this guy, which is a torque wrench, and all the bolts are all the same size, so you don't need two, you just need one, you just need this. If you want to do it a little quicker, because these bolts are sometimes a little longer, go ahead and get yourself one of these guys. And I would not torque it with this, but you can definitely use it to just kind of get it to where it needs to be, and then tighten these bad boys up as much as you can, because this is stainless steel and this is obviously a carbon mast. So, a little off subject, that's okay. Let's talk about this mast real quick. This is a No Limits V2 version of the Omen foil. It has a 1 degree of rake in it. What does that mean? I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't mind it. As far as the connection that is going on with the Omen fuselage to No Limits mast, you have your 3 screws right here, and again, this is stainless steel, and I don't know if you can hear that, but I think that's the 11 o'clock train. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I am in the beautiful state of Florida for this whole month of March, and I have to say it's really something that I needed. I need to get out of that 5 mil and need to get into some warmer water, and I must say that the locals and the state of Florida in general has been really good to me. We got the 850 and the 1050, which are both 90 centimeters as far as length. As far as aspect ratio for the 2 wings, the 1050 is a 7.7 and the 850 is a 9.5. Now, coming from my past foils, 7.7 sounds a little thick and not very fast. It sounds great as far as just maintaining a pump. What I later learned was the way that Omen sets up their whole streamlined fuselage to mast connection is they do a stainless steel fuselage, which gives them the ability to make a much smaller fuselage in general. So with this 7.7 aspect ratio wing, it does give a way better feeling in whitewater It does give a better feeling in lift, but the fuselage, since it's smaller, gives an efficiency and makes it much faster than a normal 7.7 aspect ratio wing. Now, so that's taking best of both worlds in this scenario. You want a wing that pops up really fast and efficiently, but you also want speed. So I think that Omen has kind of figured out a way to streamline that whole situation. And the other trick to this fuselage being small is that these foils feel very connected and stable in low speeds, but also getting towards that high speed, I don't feel myself having to adjust my weight to try to push the foil down at high speeds or up in low speeds. It just wants to stay level, which is awesome because that was a situation that I felt in the past where they feel great on the low end, but when you're on the high end, they just feel like they just want to launch out of the water. As far as tails, we have the ahi large and the ahi small, which is somewhat of your boomerang tail. The idea is, since you have this area that's a little bit bigger overall, if you look at this almost as like a half circle, you have much more of a wing. But when you go to turn, this wing does flex a little bit. Now, I haven't really felt the flex in a negative way, but everything that I felt with this tail has been positive. This part of the fuselage also is ridiculously light, bringing most of the weight really in this stainless steel connection, which is technically, since you have your no limits mast, which is super light, the foil itself is super light, and this is super light, all of the weight is underneath your feet, which, if you watched my review about the Flux, you already know my feeling about that, which is that I love the way it feels with all the weight underneath you. Not in front of you, not behind you, right underneath you. I think that's important. I think that's something that a lot of brands are missing. As per Greg's suggestion, I paired the ahi large with the 1050, so that way it's giving me that pump, glide, and also in smaller surf or less powerful surf. So the 1050, when using it when I first got into New Jersey, was a little different. It was actually a lot different than the foil that I was riding previously. What I mean by that is it had a different way of approaching wave energy. The idea behind what Omen is doing with their foils is maximizing time on foil while riding a wave. So even with this 1050 and the large ahi tail, it's very glidey, and it's also extremely surfy. These foils have been the absolute surfiest foils that I have personally been on. They have a different reaction to white water. They have a stability through white water, and they just feel more together. When you're pushing through your turns, I feel confident in what I'm doing, which is important because when you are hitting a critical section or going as fast as you possibly could be, it's important to feel good about what you're on. Now, the 1050, again, as I was saying, is the bigger version of the two foils that they currently have in the line. The 1050, it felt a little big when I first got it in New Jersey. And honestly, New Jersey, most of the time, it gets pretty big. And it gets very powerful. Especially in the wintertime, it's a lot of wind swell. It's blowing 25, 30 miles an hour. and it takes about 3 days for it to be kind of foilable for where I want to be. So with that said, the 1050 felt a little overpowered. Now this is something that actually Greg had spoken to me about before grabbing all of this gear from him. He said that the 850 is gonna be probably my go-to wing, especially in power. Now, when we look at the 850 and we look at the 1050, it's right around the same, but the aspect ratio is now a 9.5. So the first feelings that I felt with this wing was the amount of glide and the amount of overall speed, because now we're using a higher aspect ratio, but we also still obviously have this really small fuselage compared to a lot of other brands. So what that does is just makes it super fast, and it still has a lot of area through the wingtips, which allows it to breach very well. The connection itself on waves is insane, glides forever. I felt my foiling just, I'm pumping less. These foils are designed to surf waves and find energy where I couldn't find energy before, to the point of where I am at times able to hop off the back of a wave and not even pump and just connect back into the second wave or third wave or fourth wave. This has been an amazing shore runner style wing as well. It's real fast and it's real efficient. Now, New Jersey, it's bigger, it's a little faster, it's a little bit more powerful. I even went to the point of grabbing one of their shims, and they really dummy proofed it. It's very easy. They have the two different options, which is nose up, means that it's gonna handle speed and drops better, and nose down, meaning it's gonna handle, I suppose, smaller waves or light wind with winging. Now, in New Jersey, I was using this shim, nose up, with the 850 and getting insane, just almost shortboard style surfing wraps, and also just allowing that wing to breach on the top turns. Now, then I come to Florida. And Florida's a little different. Riding the smaller wing and the smaller tail with the nose up, I felt that I was really losing a lot of that pump. So as suggested by Greg, he said, why don't you try the 1050 again? Also, take out that shim. Try to keep that board neutral, and let's see what happens. And since then, the 1050 has been my absolute go-to. It pumps amazing. In these whitewater sections, it holds great, and all in all is just like super fun. I personally think that the 1050 is a great way to go in smaller surf, and then the 850 is a great way to go in obviously bigger surf. It captures the energy so well and keeps you up for so long. It's just fantastic. So in conclusion, here's something to think about. Every single brand has their different take on what the most efficient, best foil is out there. From my experience with the Operator 850 and the Operator 1050, if you want to turn like hell, stay efficient, and feel good in all different speed ranges of a wave. I've never felt anything as good as the 1050 in smaller Florida surf and the 850 in slightly punchier New Jersey surf. Out of the box, tuning, keeping everything streamlined, no shim in the tail, everything felt great. As far as tuning to the board, I have found that right around, if you're running the Omen Flux, the 36, which is what I'm running, and this setup, I have found that the perfect spot in the mast placement is 5.5 personally for me. Gives me enough lift to pump, but also keeps that sweet spot right underneath my feet as far as turning. I will be working with some different tail shims very soon and kind of showing some negatives, positives, and everything in the middle. I also just really want to quickly talk about a fun little invention that Make on Instagram. It's just something simple to hold your mast bolts in your tracks. For me, I usually have mast bolts in any board that I have, so now I know that they are there and they are not coming out when the board goes into the car or anything like that. It's just super easy and it works great, and stoked that guys like Make Surf Make are just kind of having a little fun with foiling and making a fun little product too. And you can check them out on Instagram. I'll put all the links in below. Well, the wind's cranking. I have been dying to learn how to wing, and I think I'm gonna go get out there. It's like 78 degrees, the water's turquoise blue, and I'm trying to figure out why I'm going back to New Jersey. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to ask any questions. And again, thank you to the Omen team, everyone behind the brand, and just overall stoked. Have fun and get on foil. Peace, guys.